Welcome to the Urban Cowgirl Show. Here's our next session with Seela. Today we're fully tacking her with Britchen and Crooper. And her surcingle that now fits her a little tighter, we adjusted it. We're going to put the yoke on. We're not going to try to desensitize her today as we did at the last session with the chains. We had a little bit of trouble and we got past it. That's okay. We think we're going to be able to, with repetition, get her not to bolt or get excited when she is asked to step up and hoe, especially when she is rigged to pull with the chains along her ribs and a single tree connected behind her. That's all stuff that we're working on. So we've shown you in the past how we've put the crooper on. That's a little bit tricky too. We've shown you how we put the yoke on. So as soon as all of that is on, we'll turn the camera back on. And then we're gonna take her to the big steps. She's done that several times in the past, but this time we put a knobbed rubber mat on the top of the top high step because it's a little bit slippery. Even though we have 2 applications of paint with sand in it, etc. We didn't like the fact that with her bare feet she was slipping on it as she leaped off the high end, the north end. So we put a knobbed rubber mat. We're going to make sure today that that is going to be a safe and comfortable obstacle for her to negotiate. And of course we do it with our horses too, and they're all trimmed and bare feet, so we just want to make sure every obstacle here is doable and doable with as much safety as we can. Still, yes, good, good. She kicked out a little bit even though all you were doing was lifting her tail, but that's because it's all weird feelings to her. Good girl. Now we'll put the yoke on and we'll meet you at the big steps. Well, we had no trouble getting the yoke on. We're now putting our breast collar on just to make sure the surcingle stays where we have it presently buckled. The breast collar, I use them all the time on my horses too to make sure the saddle stays where we presently have it cinched. We don't want any of these items to slip to the side or under the belly of these livestock. Okay, the next thing Angela's going to do when she gets that breast collar on is walk Seela over here to the big steps. I'm giving you a different view of them. She's going to walk across the bottom step, which is usually pretty easy, then walk up to the top step, and then ask Seela to step off or jump off the high north side of the what we call big steps. And that's the most challenging thing for Seela because we have found out over the years that we've been training and working with our Zebus that they don't see very well in front of them. So if they have confidence in you, they'll do what you ask, but they may make certain assumptions, like although there's sand below these big steps, Seela may jump it as if it were the Grand Canyon. So we just want to make it as safe as possible for her not to slip as she's jumping, and of course, soft landing when she gets down to the ground. And we'll watch her in a moment. Angela's just putting a few more chains on because we are trying to keep that yoke upright on Seela's neck. And that's been kind of challenging. With all the rings on the surcingle, we have to try to symmetrically balance the yoke. The yoke fits nicely around her neck, but she has a lot of loose skin and fur under her neck. So we don't want to make it too tight, and yet if we don't make it tight enough it tends to slip to one side or the other. And as long as it doesn't slip all the way down or all the way to one side or the other, if it's just a little bit tilted, we're okay on that. We know we're going to be able to pull with it. We know we're going to be able to do work with the yoke. This is a beautiful yoke that I had special made on the East Coast, in New Hampshire, for Susie and Rusty, Seela's mother and father. And we're now using it for Seela. Last bit of chain. And I have an arm extension, just a easy piece of PVC. Let me step out here and show it to you. It's actually conduit. It was in my throwaway pile, and I said, oh, that's a nice arm extension for working with Seela. So we keep it here in our tack shed. And there you go. Seela just walked across. Now she's going to walk back. No hesitation. The yoke is staying up. It's tilted a little bit. Now here's the challenge, and I may have to go up there and do a little bit of rhythmic pressure or visual block to encourage her to step up to the big steps. Especially now, remember, she's a little bit hesitant when it comes to new things like rubber mats. And this may be a chore all on its own. Okay, I'm going to walk over there and see if I can encourage her. Step up. Step up. Step up. Step up. Good girl. Step up. Step up. Step up. Step up.
Step up.
She's going to step over. Anything to avoid this new item. Step up. Step up. Step up. Step up. Yeah, don't look at her. That's emphasized so often. Don't look them in the eye. You can look back or look on the side of your eye. But don't turn around and look in the eye if they're resisting forward motion. Step up. Step up. Step up. Step up. And now she's nervous. She's pooing. It's not diarrhea yet. The more nervous she gets, the softer will be her poop. This is kind of a body language gauge. We may want to choose a different task that we know she'll do and stop on that note. And next time, perhaps use our side pull on her head, which will give us a little more pressure on her nose and 2 lead lines. We'll see. I'm going to ask her one more time. Step up. Step up. I don't want this to be dangerous. You see how she's backing off? And if she's on the high step and then backs off, it could be dangerous. Step up.
Step up.
Step up.
Come on.
Step up.
Step up. Good girl.
Okay, keep going. That's great. Great, great. She'll jump. Yes. Okay. I wasn't sure what was going to happen. We had a note of resolution just then, and I know I got that on video for you. She did jump kind of high. Let's do this. I want her to come from the north end and smell the north end. Not ask her to go forward. I want her to become familiar from this direction. That's almost like stepping into a trailer, and I found from my past experience that I needed to put a ramp on my trailer. It was a step up, much lower than this step. It was a step up, and I bought ramps from Harbor Freight and Tool that could handle their weights, and they were willing to walk up the ramp but not step up in the ramp. Okay, now go back to the front, and yeah, we're not going to ask for the leap off. Just go across again. We're going to make it an easy thing to do that we know is easy for her, a good experience that she will remember until the next time we can work with her. So Angela's going to approach the low step again, go across, and then you can take her down the driveway to removing her tack. That's it. Perfect. Perfect body language, perfect place to stop. And because Seela actually did it for us, she was confident enough in us, and we were confident enough in her to keep asking within parameters of safety. Because she did it for us, she got up on the big step and jumped off the high end. Seela gets an A+, and so does Angela. Here's our next session with Seela. We have tacked her up entirely with her yoke, with her britchin, with all the chains to keep the yoke straight on her neck, and with the crooper on. And today we're going back to trying to get her to be sensitive and understand what the feeling and the purpose of these chains are that are hooked to our single tree. Now I'm going to show you something that we're going to try to improve before next time, and that is we're going to get some larger carabiners. Not the largest ones because they're pretty heavy, but larger than these. And these carabiners, I'm going to walk by her, she's watching me, she has great peripheral vision, are going to replace these dog collars. And I'll tell you why. If she spooks by the chains going through the britchin, and she has this single tree or whatever's connected to the single tree running after her, the spook could be severe. What I want to be able to do is run the chains along her body, give her desensitization practice so that it doesn't bother her to feel those chains. But if she does spook, to very quickly be able to remove the chains and therefore whatever they're connected to, which right now is the single tree. And I'm afraid if we get into a spook situation that these dog collars, they have too many buckles and rings and so forth and twists, will give a place for the chains to get hung up on. So if we can get some smooth carabiners, large enough to accept the chain and large enough so that we can easily pull the chain back out, then I feel that that's a safer situation for continued training on pulling. That doesn't mean, though, we aren't going to try to go to the very next tiny step today. We're going to bypass. We're just not going to go through the britchin. But she's now getting used to feeling the britchin. We're going to go through a ring on the surcingle down to this very handy hook on our yoke. The hook is pretty easy to pull things off of. The ring on the surcingle has nothing else in it, so it's going to be, I hope, if she does spook, pretty easy to pull the chain out of it. And for now, she won't have any feelings or connections or weight on the britchin, but that's yet to come. Now, what I'm going to do is put my arm extension down. And I have Kyle here on the camera. And when it's time to have him hold on to the chains and the single tree, I'm going to have him do that while Angela handles Seela at the head. And I'm going to be there if I can help. Right now my legs aren't working quite the way I'd like them to, so I want to make sure if she spooks that we can easily stay behind her. It's very important that if she spooks that we don't end up over here with the single tree and the chains over her back, because that will be a different experience than what we want ultimately when she's helping us pull. We're training her to pull. Before we turned the camera on, we took her to the big steps. Can you pan over there? We were able to, in just a few minutes, get her to go over the high step and to jump off the high end. And she again leaped off of it like she did in the last session. And I accept that. She was at least willing to do it, but remember that the zebus don't see too well in front of their faces, so they don't really know what we're asking them to jump over, so they do it as if they were jumping over the Grand Canyon. But she was willing. She had trust in us. We could get her to focus on the task we were requesting, and she gave us the right answer. Now I'm going to pick up this chain. I'm talking. It's going to make some noise. I'm being very careful, not too slow, not too fast. And Angela, I'm going to hand you this. It's all right, Seela. It's all right. It's all right. We're watching. We're watching. Is she going to spook? We've done this a few times. The chain is just the right length, so it's not too close to her back legs. And we're going to go through this top ring, symmetrical on both sides. And then on the outside of all of this busyness here, connect to the hook with this small carabiner. So far, so good. And Kyle, leaving the camera on us, can you come back here? I'm going to show you what to do. It's all right, Seela. Very quietly, but not too slowly. I don't want her to think I'm doing something scary. I picked it up. And Kyle, you just leave the camera on us and come back here and hold this. As Angela's going to ask Seela for a step up, which means we want forward motion. If Seela starts spooking, what's important, as I said, is to keep these chains in the single tree behind her. If we can get her to step up for a few steps and stop without spooking, then what I'd like to do, and I really don't know what she's going to say about it, what I'd like to do is put it down on the ground and ask her to step up a few steps. Now, Angela, let me ask you your opinion, because there's no clear right answer. Should I get another halter, or do you feel you can control her if she starts?
Another lead line?
Another lead line, right?
I think I can control it.
Okay, all right. Remember, this is little heifer Seela, who is maybe about 450, 500 pounds. It's not a 1,000-pound horse. I'm going to stand back here by the camera in case we want to move the camera forward. But if you can get 3 steps forward and stop, boy, would I be happy. Okay, and you're going to have to ask for it, and ask for it with assertion. Let us hear it here at the camera. And Kyle, your job is to go with her. Don't pull back yet with the chains, but stay behind her. Okay, Angela.
Step up. Steady. Oh. Oh.
She's thinking about to, yeah, stay behind her. It's okay. She's not 4 feet in concrete yet, which is what we want when we ask for a hoe. Okay, Angela, you know what? Just come back. So you're going to ask her to step up ha. That means to her left. And then ask for a hoe. Go with her, Kyle. We didn't get... I'm watching. That's why the camera didn't follow her as well as it should. Okay, that's all right. That's it. You see what I mean about having to go with her. Now she's spooking a little bit. Okay, persistence. Right. Okay. Kyle, very slowly put the single tree down. So it doesn't make noise. She can't really see him right now because the yoke is in her way. But wait a minute, Kyle. I want you to stand there and I'm going to show you what I want you to do if she starts spooking. I have this little, it's all right, Seela. This little, whoa, Kyle. All right, let me get the camera to show you. She did spook when she heard me behind her. And look what happened. The chain went under her legs. Now it's on the wrong side. The chain's on the wrong side. So Angela, remove, okay, or Kyle, remove the chain. Yes, let's line her up again. It's okay. As long as she doesn't get hurt, as nobody gets hurt, we will get her so she's not afraid of that. Come back and get the chain. Talk to her.
It's all right.
It's all right, Seela. That's right. That's good, darling. What I wanted to do you see the little chain there in the back of the single tree? I just want you to kind of hold on to that. I'm going to get you something longer. So you can let it be on the ground, but pick it up off the ground if she starts to spook. Oh, and here are her mom and dad. Let me show you. They often come to watch. They're concerned. Let's see if you can see them. They're concerned. Here comes Susie, her mom, and Rusty, her father, is in the back. And it's Susie that's mooing. They are concerned, and I like them to be able to watch. And I think Seela gets comfort for having them around. Okay, before we move on, let's just stand there. Standing is good. I'm going to walk by her, talk to her. It's all right, Seela. It's all right. It's all right. Now you're going to have to pick it up right quick if she starts moving. Put this on the carabiner that's down there, and you'll be able to lift it up quicker. Since we've done couples work or pairs work with Seela and Susie recently, we have extra chains. Okay, so now we have a long chain that's on the ground. What I want you to do, Kyle, is pick it up right now, not too quietly, not too slowly. Say, hello, Seela. Seela, or pick it up off the ground ever so slightly. Now, if she's walking for Angela and a step up and doesn't spook, put it down for a step or two. It's gonna feel different, it's gonna sound different. And do you see why I wanna get those carabiners in the back at the britchin? To keep it out from under her feet. And so we hope we'll have that next time. This is a first. This is the first time Seela's done this on her own in the past. Oh, I'd say a year ago or so, she did it with Susie, connected to our double yoke to Susie, and she was much more confident. She's learning to be confident on her own now. Okay, so Angela, a couple steps forward, and Kyle, if she's moving quietly and straight, just holding onto the chain, but letting the single tree on the ground, we'll put it down for a moment. All right?
Seela, step up. Easy.
Can you put it down, Kyle?
Oh. Oh.
Now, as soon as she heard it, look what she did.
Easy. Oh.
And Kyle is standing behind her until she stops. Okay, we're not gonna stop on that note because although we did get her to give us the right answer, we're hoping we can stop before she spooks next time. So, Angela, another couple steps forward. Kyle, kind of put it down for a split second and pick it up. Okay, Angela?
Step up.
Okay, pick it up. You can see by her body language, her position, that she was concerned about the noise and probably the feel. Okay, one tiny baby step. We feel that she's learned a little. We've learned a little bit more about her. We're working on gaining confidence. And there is her father, Rusty, and her mom, Susie, both of which, when they were younger, worked together on this kind of thing. So now it's time for baby to learn it too. And that's all for today. Okay, here's our next session. It's a nice day. We've got carabiners instead of dog collars now at the end of the britchin, so that if we do get in trouble, the chains are not as likely to get hung up and we can get them out of the hardware. Yeah, it's always good to go through one that doesn't have other chains. Right, so that it can't get hung up on anything. Okay, so, and it's always good to be symmetrical. And one of the other precautions are, don't go so close with that single tree that it will hit her back legs. Horses or cows, either one, they'll get real spooked by that if you're not careful. Until they're not scared anymore, until they have confidence in you. Okay, we're hooked up, we've got all of the tack on, everything seems to fit. Now Kyle is gonna go in the back. We did a little bit of this last session. We had a little bit of a spook. Kyle is doing it because it's extremely important to stay behind her. And I'm not real good nowadays. I'm hope to have that improved soon at using my legs real fast. So you gotta stay in the back. First, pick it up. Right now, pick it up and pull it back a little bit. Good. Now remember that she seems to spook when you ask for a hoe, right? So maybe a little bit of a tug, not a constant pressure. Warn her that you're going to ask for a hoe. And Kyle, if she does start spinning around, your job is to stay behind her.
Yes.
And to keep the single tree off the ground. If we're doing well, then we'll put the single tree down. She can feel the pull, hear the pull, and we'll be happy with that progress and that note of resolution today. We hope this will be a short session. Okay, Angela, be real assertive with your voice and make sure Kyle can hear you.
Okay. Seela, step up. Steady. Oh.
Nah, we're not past the spin around thing. With horses or with cows, don't go to the next step until you can get the 4 feet, the 4 hooves in concrete, as they say in the natural horsemanship language. If you want to stand, a stop, it has to be almost as if their hooves are in concrete. Okay, back and forth a little bit. Go up and down the driveway. We've got to do this with repetition.
Seela, step up.
She'll gain confidence and stop spinning. Just 3 or 4 steps and then hoe.
Steady. Oh.
Better.
Good girl.
Good girl, Seela. Much better. All right, we don't want to overdo our optimism here. I would say, Angela, go back down the driveway 3 or 4 steps, and this time don't hoe. But if she's doing well, Kyle, put your single tree down, holding on to that long chain so that you can pick it up again and stay behind her if she does spook. Okay, let's go. It's up to you.
Seela, step up, hop. Step up. Go straight first. Step up, hop.
You're G'ing, aren't you? G is right.
Oh.
Yeah, right. Okay, G is right, Ha's left. She's doing good. Keep going, and let Kyle very quietly put it down, but keep your hand on the chain and let her feel the pull. Excellent. Pick it up again, Kyle. Very nice. Angela, try to stop her. Oh, wonderful. Now go, Ha, and come back. Let's see if we can do it again and then call that our note of resolution. The same sequence of events.
Hop. Step up. Step up, hop.
She didn't step up at first, but then she did. And a serpentine always helps with forward motion if we have frozen feet. Okay, put it down, Kyle. Seela is definitely aware of it. Good. Pick it up again. She stopped herself. She knew that was the pattern. She said, okay, I'm done with my work. So let's give her a reward. Let's let her be done with her work. Let's remove the pressure and give her repetition. And I think we will be able to show you how Seela learns to pull. See more at www.urbancowgirlchannel.com.